The previous lectures we discussed about the combinational logic circuits in which current state of the output of the circuit is totally dependent on the current input value to the circuit. That means we are discussed about the different logic gates, different circuits which perform the different Boolean algebra, also binary algebra. Also we discussed about half adder and full adder. In those circuits, digital circuits, the output actually depends only on the current state of the input signal. The output suddenly changes when we change the input signal. But there are other category of digital logic circuits which are called as sequential logic circuits. Sequential logic circuits. This type of circuits, the current state of the output depends not only on the current input values but also on the sequences of logic values that lead to the current input values. That means in the sequential logic circuit, output state of the circuit remains in their state until instructed to change it, so it can said that this circuit possesses memory. While in combinational logic circuits, output state changes with the change in input state. So in sequential logic circuits, the output state of the circuits not only depends on the inputs current input values but also upon the sequence of logic values that lead to the current input values. So in order to change the output of a sequential logic circuit, not only we have to change the input values, some instruction has to come to change that output state. That means they can be used as a memory. So the most important memory elements in this category are the flip-flops. In these lectures, we will discuss about the flip-flop. In this lecture, we will discuss a particular type of flip-flop which is called the RS flip-flop, and in the next lecture, we will discuss about another type of flip-flop which is the JK flip-flop. Even though the flip-flops are considered to be the memory element, but they has no storage capacity. Several such flip-flops can be connected together in ways that permit information to be stored. several different logic gate arrangements are used to produce these flip-flops. So we will discuss about the basic elements of the flip-flop first. Usually it is abbreviated as FF. A flip-flop is actually a bistable electronic circuit having two stable states. Electronic circuit having two stable states. Means its output is either low or 0 or high, which is denoted by 1. The most elementary form of flip-flop is called a latch. A latch can be either formed by using a NAND gate or a NOR gate. We will discuss the latch by using a NOR gate first. Please consider a NOR gate in this way. Two NOR gates are connected as shown here. This is having two NOR gates. The output of the one of the NOR is connected to the input of the other. So if you consider two NOR gates A and B with two outputs Q and Q bar, so now let's see the working of this circuit. Suppose output state of A is low, that is output of A is Q, which is supposed to be low, then input to gate B is low because Q is connected to the input of B. So input of B is low, which causes the output of gate B at a high level, that is Q bar is at a high level. Now output of B, that is Q bar, is the input of the gate A. So when Q bar is high, the input of A is high. So if input of A is high, then output of A will be 0 itself. Thus this circuit is in a stable state. That is, this circuit always has if the Q is A is output of A is low, then output of A is 0 always, and output of B is always 1. So this circuit has a stable output. In other case, if you consider the output of B is low, that is Q bar is equal to 0, then this output of B is the input of A. So the input of A will be low. If input of A is low, then its output Q will be high. So it will be at another stable state, or this is the second stable state of the circuit. So this is the one of the stable state possible, or this is the other stable state possible. In this case Q is 0 and Q bar is equal to 1. In this case Q bar is equal to 0 and Q is equal to 1. So from this discussion we can see that or we can note the following points, that the outputs Q and Q bar are always complementary. The second thing is that the circuit has two stable states. In one of the stable state, Q is equal to high or 1, which refers to a one state or set state. So Q is equal to 1 is called a set state. The other stable state is that Q is equal to 0, which refers to the zero state or the reset state. So when Q is high, it is called set state. When Q is equal to 0, which is called a reset state. Now the third thing is that if the circuit is in set state, it continues in this state, and if the circuit is in set state, it continues to be in that state. And similarly, if it is in the reset state, it continues to remain in that state. This property of the circuit is referred to as memory. That is, it can store one bit of digital information. These are the things which we can note the discussion of a latch circuit. This is called latch because the information is locked or latched in this circuit. So, since the information is locked or latched in this circuit, it is called a latch. So which is latch is the most elementary circuit of a most elementary part or circuit of a flip-flop. So what are the things which we have to recall from this discussion is that the most elementary circuit of a flip-flop is a latch. A latch can be formed either by using a NOR gate or a NAND gate. The circuit for NOR gate is already discussed. For a NAND gate, you can have this way. a NAND gate, two NAND gates, call them as A and B. The output of the NAND gate A is given as the input of the NAND gate B, and output of the NAND gate B is given as the input of the NAND gate A. In this one, the output will be either Q is equal to 0 or 1. If Q is equal to 0, then it will be always in that state, and that state Q is equal to 0 is called a reset state. And if Q is equal to 1, which the circuit will be always in that state, that means it can store a single bit of or one bit of digital information, and Q is equal to 1 state is called a set state. So now let's discuss about the different flip-flop circuits. Here you can see that in a latch circuit, when power is switched on, the circuit switches to one of the stable states, that is Q is equal to 0 or 1, and it is not possible to predict that state. That means in these circuits there is no possibility of entering the desired digital information to be stored in it. So in latch circuits or in latches, there is no possibility of entering the desired digital information to be stored in it. So to make this possibility, we have to modify these latches, and the modified form of latches are the flip-flops. So first flip-flop which we are going to discuss is the RS flip-flop. So I told you, by making some modification to the latch, we can have the flip-flop circuit. So if you consider a circuit in this way, a latch always contains at least two NAND gates. So here I am considering NOR. So two NOR gates, A and B are the two NOR gates, and you know that the output of the one gate is given as the input of the other. Always we will denote the connection in digital circuits by these rounds. Other crosses will not have a connection. In analog circuits, when we draw two wires, usually in order to show there is no connection between them, we will make a jump there. But in digital circuits, we will not make the jump, but instead, if there is a connection between these two wires, we will make a point dot like this. Then it means that there is a connection. Otherwise, if we just draw like this in a digital circuit, it represents there is no connection. Now, for a NAND gate, NOR gate, we know that it can have two inputs. So one input is given from the output of the other NOR gate, and here we are giving some inputs, and these inputs are referred as or named as R and S. The outputs are denoted by Q and Q bar. So this is a RS flip-flop. So this modification is made in latch circuit in order to have control states of the flip-flops. So it is made to have a control states or controlled output states. So that the desired digital information can be stored in it. By making it as a control states, we can have a desired digital information storing capacity. So usually this R and S represents reset and set. We will show you why this name comes. To discuss it, that means to discuss the output state of this flip-flop, we will consider all four combinations of the input signals R and S. First case, we will consider both the inputs are 0, that is R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 0. This is a NOR gate. Since a 0 at the input of a NOR gate has no effect on its output, the flip-flop simply remains in its present state. So when R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 0, the flip-flop remains in its same state. That means, suppose if you consider Q is equal to 0, in this case, then input of the NOR gate B will be, if Q is equal to 0, input of the gate B, NOR gate B will be S is 0 and Q is also 0. So Q bar will be 1. So the gates A will have inputs, NOR gate A will have gates, gate A, NOR gate A will have inputs R is 0, Q bar is 1, which again gives a Q is equal to 0. So there is no change in the state. So when R equal to 0, S is equal to 0, whatever the state existing there, that will continue. So there is no change in the state. So flip-flop remains in the present state, or which means that remains in the present state. Now consider the second case, that is when R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1. Suppose we are considering the output Q bar is equal to 0. When Q bar is equal to 0, for the NOR gate A, the inputs are R and Q bar. So R equal to 0, Q bar is equal to 0, the output Q will be 1. For the gate B, NOR gate B, the inputs are S and Q. S is 1, Q is 1, which leads to Q bar is equal to 0. So now whatever may be the case, the output of this gate for R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1, it changes Q to 1 and Q0 to 0. This state is called a set state. So when R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1, which changes the or which is changes the output state to set state. So that's why S is called, when S is 1, which makes the set state for this flip flop, that's why it is denoted as set. Now if you consider the third case, case 3, with R is equal to 1 and S is equal to 0, suppose our output Q is equal to 0, then if you consider the NOR gate B, whose inputs are S and Q, S is 0, Q is 0, which makes the output of B, that is Q bar, to 1. And if you consider the NOR gate A, whose inputs are R and Q bar, here R is equal to 1 and Q bar is equal to 1, which changes Q to 0. So here Q is 0 and Q bar is 1, which is called a reset state. So the combination of R equal to 1 and S is equal to 1 resets the flip flop. And now if you consider the fourth case, case 4, when R is equal to 1 and S is equal to 1, this case, the input signals R and S of the flip flop forces the output of both NOR gates to the same level. But as we know that output Q bar is always complement of the output Q, so output state of the flip flop is unpredictable. So in both, if both inputs R and S of flip flop are at high level, now when the inputs are removed, if R is removed before S, then the condition R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1 prevails at input side and flip flop sets. And if S is removed before R, then the condition R equal to 1 and S equal to 0 prevails and the flip flop resets. So this case is actually unpredictable when R is equal to 1 and S is equal to 1. So now if we consider the truth table for the RS flip flop, for considering the above mentioned 4 cases, we can draw the truth table as this is for R, S, Q, the output Q, and let's have a comment on it or what action it is going to do there. R, S, Q. When R is equal to 0, S is equal to 0, Q will be the last value or it remains the same. Actually what action is going to do the flip-flop circuit is no change in the output level. When R is equal to 0, S is equal to 1, the Q will be 1, which is called the set state. When R is equal to 1, S is equal to 0, Q will be 0, which is the reset state. When R is equal to 1, S is equal to 1, Q is forbidden, or we cannot predict the value of output when both the values are 1 for a NOR gate RS flip-flop. Now if you consider the same thing for a NAND gate, I am not going to discuss it here. You can go through the same procedure which we have used for the discussion of a NOR gate. You can see that when R and S are 0, the Q value will be unpredictable, so it goes to the forbidden state. This is the actual action taken by the circuit. When R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1, it is 0, it is the set state. When R equal to 1 and S is equal to 0, it is it is the reset state. This is the set 1, Q is equal to 1. And when both are 1, the Q will be the last value, that means no change in the output. So these are the truth table for a NAND gate. Usually we will consider the flip-flop with NOR gates, or we will generally use this truth table to discuss the flip-flop. Now for this one there is a problem, that is when you have seen that while discussing this flip-flop, when in the case condition when R equal to 1, S is equal to 1, the output is unpredictable, but when you remove the R first, then the circuit goes to set state, or when you remove S first and then R, the circuit goes to reset state. Similarly, when you apply the inputs also, this order is a important thing, that is when two inputs signals R and S are applied to a circuit, there is a time delay between these two signals which may lead to wrong outputs result. In order to overcome this problem of unequal propagation delay time of input signal, we will modify the existing RS flip-flop by introducing two AND gates to the input, which is called a clocked RS flip-flop. So clocked RS flip-flop is used in order to avoid the delay in the propagation time of the two inputs, which may lead to the wrong output results. So the circuit of a clocked RS flip-flop is like this. The two NOR gates which form the latch is there. One of the input to the NOR gate is the output of the other. That is common for all the one. And the other two inputs are the inputs which we are applying externally. If there is a time delay between the application of these two inputs which will result in wrong outputs, so to avoid it we will use an AND gate here. Here also we will use an AND gate. One of the input this AND gate is R and the other is S, and also we will use a clock pulse to synchronize these inputs, that is a clock pulse here. So this is a AND gate, this is the AND gate, let's call it as C, this is D, this is the NOR gate A, this is the NOR gate B. So now even when you switch on this R and S at different instants, the output of these two AND gates actually depends on the clock pulse also. Clock pulse is generally a square wave like this. It has a low state, high state, it periodically changes. This is a clock pulse. This is denoted usually as 0, this is 1, this is 0, this is 1. So this is called positive triggering edge and this is called negative going edge or negative triggering edge of a clock pulse. So this clock pulse is applied here. So when you switch on this R and S, it won't give any output from the AND gates C and D until the clock pulse reaches the high value. So clock supplies the low and high levels of signal to AND gates C and D regularly. When clock signal is at low level, AND gates C and D are disabled. That is, when clock is at 0, then whatever may be the values of R and S, the output of C and D are 0, or we can say that the AND gates C and D are disabled. So input signals R and S cannot be transferred to the NOR gates A and B, and therefore NOR gates A and B simply behave as a simple latch circuit holding the previous values of signal at the output. That means what is having here is when clock is equal to 0, R is actual input to the NOR gate A is A and B is 0, so it is simply act as a latch circuit giving an output which is same as the previous value. The use of the clock train pulses accordingly serves the important function of synchronizing the operations that takes place in the digital sequential circuits. That means this clock pulse avoid the problems posed due to unequal propagation delay time associated with the gates. When the clock pulse is present or at high level, AND gates C and D are enabled. So at this time input signals R and S are transferred to NOR gates and output Q is changed accordingly. So let's see what will be the truth table for this circuit. For that I am considering an nth time, because the clock pulse is changing at every instant of time. So we are considering an nth time. So at nth time is represented by Rn. The input Rn represents the R value at the nth instant of time. Sn represents the S value at nth instant of time, and the clock pulse is also there, and we are considering the output at n plus 1 instant of time. So usually a clocked RS flip-flop will serve as a circuit with 3 inputs, Rn, Sn and clock. So first case we are considering clocks to be 0. Then for whatever the combination of Rn and Sn, the output Qn plus 1 will be the previous value of output. There is no change with the circuit, simply acts like a latch. That means the output will be the same as the previous values. So whatever the values of Rn and Cn in truth table, I am representing it by stars. Now when clock pulse become high, we will consider the different combination of Rn and Sn separately. First case we are considering 0 0, when both are 0. Then also the circuit is at no change condition, that is Qn. Whatever the output which will be in that state, the circuit will give the same output. When Rn is equal to 0 and Sn is equal to 1, clock pulse is 1, then the circuit sets, and when Rn is equal to 1 and Sn is equal to 0, clock pulse is 1, then the circuit resets. When both are 1, when clock pulse is high, it will give the forbidden or unpredicted output. So this is the truth table for a clocked RS flip-flop. Remember that the clock pulse is used to avoid the unequal propagation delay time associated with the gates. So that's all about RS flip-flop. Now we have to discuss about JK flip-flop, that we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.